Yes, my dear friends, welcome back to the channel. Very good day to you guys all out there, wherever you are. Happy weekend. I believe that you guys out there are enjoying or having fun. Yeah, it is our match day, and we are about to get into our preview of Chelsea Sunderland. What are your expectations? I would expect Chelsea to go for the win. Win, win, win. We are on a winning streak right now, and we are not going to hold back. No. We are not holding back. We need to keep pressing. Pressing. We need to recover. Guys, let's get started. Before we go into the preview proper, Chelsea actually released an update on Cole Palmer. Briefly, I want to go into that. And what is Chelsea saying about Cole Palmer's injury? We understand the injury is a groin injury. And initially, we all thought it was going to require surgery. But later on, Chelsea says no need for surgery. Now, there are other alternatives which Chelsea are taking the player through right now, the medical team through right now. But this is what the statement Chelsea issued. Cole Palmer's injury layoff is viewed as necessary short-term loss in order to protect him for the long term. This is the statement from Chelsea. The club regard Palmer as a generational talent. They want to get the best out for the next 10 years, not the next 10 matches. Chelsea regard Cole Palmer as a generational talent, and they want to get the best out of him in the next 10 years, not the next 10 matches. Get it clear, not the next 10 matches. That is why Chelsea are ready to sacrifice the now for the next 10 years, which means that they are giving him a treatment that will last long, or that will be permanent. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a club statement on Cole Palmer. We also understand Delap has returned for training. According to Enzo Maresca, Delap is back and he's fit, but he is not expected to be part of this afternoon's game. Hopefully next week, Delap could be available, according to Enzo Maresca. As you can see right there on your screen, Delap is back in first team training a couple of days back. Now, it is not a surprise thing. After the international break, we've seen many players being rested, especially the game against Ajax. The past 1 week, Chelsea rested Reece James, 1 week rest. Pedro Neto, 1 week rest. Joao Pedro rested for a week. Garnacho rested throughout last week. Sanchez, the goalkeeper Sanchez, also received a rest. Michael Krella did not also feature in our last game against Ajax. They all received rest. Plus, Moise Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez, they only played the first half of that game. Both played only first half of that game. Look, I'm very sure that all these players, I mentioned their names, will be starting the game tonight when I get into my predicted lineup in the next few minutes. Yes, because with these names I mentioned, it explains why we featured a lot of under-20s against Ajax. And of course, we delivered. But I also want to remind you, we are into the preview now. Sunderland will not be an easy game this afternoon. Though I expect Chelsea to win, but Sunderland will not be an easy game this afternoon. They sat right now as we speak 7th on the league table, and it's for a reason. They are not sitting there by mistake. For Sunderland to be 7th on the league table, look, when I started watching this Sunderland since they came back from relegation, I started watching them earlier this. I'm like, wow, it looks like this guy, they meant business. That is why they were willing and eager to have Maguire as part of the group. Unfortunately, Chelsea will call Maguire back from the loan from them. So they are now 7th on the league table for a reason, with one of the best early points totals for a promoted club in the Premier League history. And they have shown they can be pragmatic. They can be pragmatic and grind out results. They play with they play without fear. They don't see any opponent as superior to them. They are pragmatic in their approach in every game. Chelsea will need to be patient and take their chances. Listen, we will need to be patient and take our chances against this team, Sunderland. Ladies and gentlemen, they are 7th and Chelsea are 5th on the league table. Now, let me say this. I'm running up. I'm done. Enzo Maresca speaking about Enzo Fernandez. Enzo Maresca speaking about Enzo Fernandez regarding the penalty that he gave the ball to the young guy, Estaval, to take the penalty. After he had taken one, the second penalty, he gave the ball to Estaval to take. This is what Enzo Maresca said. He said, it's very, very good. I told the players after the game that for sure we were happy about winning. But the main thing about the game was Enzo giving the ball to Estaval. It shows how the team are at the moment and how they are all together. This is where we need to build on that. How the team is at the moment. There is unity, there is love, respect for each other. Last year, by now, we saw similar situation where players were fighting over the ball to take the penalty. We saw Jackson, Noni Madueke, and Cole Palmer dragging the ball. We saw Cole Palmer. For me, that incident, Cole Palmer wasn't supposed to go dragging it with them. The two players, they already wanted, like Enzo Fernandez did it. Enzo, nobody even approached. He willingly gave it. Enzo would have said, oh, I want to add more goals to my own, statistics, or my own stat also. But he didn't do that. He gave the ball out. That's maturity. Cole Palmer stepped in when Noni Madueke and Nicolas Jackson were already dragging. Noni Madueke was dragging the ball. If Cole Palmer would have just allowed them. But it shows the maturity of Enzo Fernandez. And we need to build on that. Ladies and gentlemen, my predicted lineup for tonight's game. Before then, let me go to the head-to-head. Head-to-head of both teams. Head-to-head of both teams. In the last 5 games, Chelsea won 4. Last 5 Premier League games. Last 5 games, not just Premier League. Of both teams, Chelsea won 4 and lost 1. Sunderland drew 2, won 2 and lost 1. I'm taking it again. Recent form of both teams, Chelsea won 4 and lost 1. Sunderland drew 2, won 2 and lost 1. That tells you that this Sunderland team, their defense is quite solid. Like I said, just need to take time, just need to be patient and take our chances. Because this Sunderland side are a solid team. Ladies and gentlemen, my predicted lineup, I'll start with Sanchez in goal post. I'm starting with Sanchez, Robert Sanchez in goal post, yes. On my left side, Michael Cucurella, that was rested, will take over back his position. Yes. On my right, okay, I wouldn't say right, but as usual, 3 back. Cucurella is there. Now, we will need 2 more center backs. I'll go for Joshua Champong and Trevor Chalobah. Those are the 2 center backs. Joshua Champong and Trevor Chalobah. Yeah. Now, Reece James is supposed to be at the right back, but I'll make use of him again, Patrick Caicedo. That means that he has extra responsibility of looking back. And I will start Pedro Neto ahead. On the right side, attacking right. Garnacho on the left. Joao Pedro playing as number 10. Enzo Fernandez will maintain his position as number 8. Yeah. Then I'll use McGuay as my striker. So we are counting it. Enzo, Sanchez, Robert Sanchez, Reece James, Trevor Chalobah, Josh Achampong, Michael Cucurella. Right? I already mentioned Reece James. So we now go straight to Caicedo. That's what? 6.
Yeah.
Right? Caicedo in addition making it 6, right? Okay. Enzo Fernandez, 7. Joao Pedro, 8. Garnacho, 9. Pedro Neto, 10. Maguire, 11 as the attack, as a main striker. That is my first 11 to start the game tonight. And look, guys, the scoreline prediction. It will end 3-1. 3-1 in favor of Chelsea. Yeah. 3-1 in favor of Chelsea. I'll see you guys on the next one after I agree with our post-match reaction. Shalom and peace.